Hey guys, Brent here, Avenue Fitness in Houston, Texas, and today I want to talk to you about an obsession that I used to have way back in the day. It was all about getting bigger. In 2006, when I opened up, I was just at roughly 1,200 square feet and only a handful of clients, and all I could think about was how fast could I grow to basically open up another location and then have another location, and then I gotta have multiple clients at each space there and hundreds of clients at each space, and then with multiple teammates along the way making millions and millions of dollars. And my obsession was this getting bigger. I completely forgot about, hey, what do I need to do right now in the current state of business that I was in to get better? All I think about is, you know what, I'm doing a good enough job. People are gonna keep coming in, people are gonna constantly keep telling their friends. I just need to keep thinking about the next 4 or 5 moves down the road. And so my obsession became bigger over better. Then one day I was listening to a talk Truett Cathy, who's the founder of Chick-fil-A, he gave, and he said this famous line, and he said, you know what, if we get better, our customers will demand that we get bigger. And that shook my world, because all of a sudden now I'm looking at things and going, wait a second, I just needed to flip the way that I was thinking here, as opposed to obsessing about the next location and obsessing about all the teammates and all the future clients that are going to be coming in. Maybe I needed to refocus back with the community that I was already serving, those that were already investing in my services on a day-to-day basis, those that were already inviting friends to come along. And I thought, okay, well, if I reverse this and kind of flip it upside down, would this strategy work? And after following that now for 10 years, and we've grown from that small little 1,200 square foot space and to basically fulfill kind of all the dreams that I had initially so far, simply focusing on, hey, let's just get better, then our customers will demand that we get bigger, is basically rung true for the past 10 and a half years that we've been in business. So here's some questions I think that maybe you can begin to wrestle with yourself, or maybe sit down with your team, that can help you start to ask this question of, are we truly getting better in our day-to-day working here? The first one up is, you know, what does getting better look like? I think sometimes we have to sit down and actually describe what it looks like. Just a client walks in the door and they say, oh, you know what, I want to get fit. You know, you're going to ask them more detailed question. What does that look like to you? Is it a certain weight? Is it a certain level of fitness that they can go and run? Is it the ability just to lay down on the ground and play with their kids? All, you know, getting better looks differently to you as it does look differently to me and to anybody else that might be watching this too as well. So sit down with your team, wrestle through this question. Hey, you know, what does getting better look like for us as a business? And the next one to follow up here is, where have we lost touch with making things better within our current facility? That's a tough one, because again, you see it every single day, day in, day out. If you're like most of it, if you're like me, I mean, you're pulling 12, 13-hour days here at the gym. It's long. You see it first thing in the morning, you see it last thing at night. You're the first one to unlock the doors, you're the last one to shut everything off and flip the light switch off as you walk out the door. And sometimes you just start to kind of, everything becomes a blur as you walk through your space. But can you slow down long enough? Hit the pause button when you're in your facility. Stand and look at different angles. Maybe it's the front door, and just stand there and look inside your facility from the outside. Maybe as you walk in and maybe approach a certain section of it, you just stop, step back against the wall or step out of the way, and you just look and you go, where have we settled? Where have we said, hey, you know what, that's good enough. That's, you know, that's average. That's the way every other gym does it. I think sometimes when you do hit that pause button in the middle of your facility, things start to become more clear. And if you want even more of a challenge, is to do that same thing with your team. It's just to walk around maybe midday when no one's in there and hit the pause button long enough to start evaluating things and say, hey, you know, where, and we basically said, all right, that's cool. We don't really need to make any changes here with things. Next question up is saying, hey, you know, you take these things, you define what getting better looks like. You've defined what, you know, around your facility, where you've kind of basically settled. You say, what are the next steps I can take over the next week and over the next 90 days to basically declutter your facility? You know, what could you do? What is that measuring stick that you can say, hey, you know what, this is what we're going to accomplish over the next week and over the next 90 days to basically make ourselves better? And from that simple strategy there, you just need that accountability person. So if you're really good at the follow through on things, you just maybe need more insight from your team. Or on the flip side, if you're really good at the insight, you need an accountability partner, someone on your team who's basically going to say at the end of the week on a Friday, hey, are we getting better? Are we measuring up to our, to basically those tangible outcomes that we defined at the beginning of this, and are we moving forward? Just the same as what you would do with your clients here in this one. And I think this is from the simplicity aspect of things, is always practice simplicity with constant repetition there. It's to look at it and say, hey, just because you do it over the course of a week or over a couple weeks, or you do actually move through and do this over the course of 90 days, doesn't mean that it stops right there. It's so easy to do, just to walk through your facility and constantly evaluate things. But yet what is so simple to do is also very simple not to do as well. The hardest thing to do is to work through that follow through. And that's where maybe that accountability partner for you, maybe that set schedule on a Friday afternoon, every single Friday, as if you're training a client for 30 minutes, you're walking through your facility and you're constantly evaluating things. Maybe you bring a teammate along to get a whole different perspective, and maybe you take different teammates through it all as you go through that journey. The key is to start and to basically stay with it each and every single session. So my challenge for you is this: hey, step back and go, where can we make things better? And in that pursuit of making things better, your clients, the community that you serve on a day-to-day basis, are going to force you to become bigger.